Guys, welcome to this Money Control live stream. You're watching Midday Market Mood Check with me, Nandita Khemka. It's a long weekend and my colleague Yatin is away for the weekend. So it's only me bringing you the live update on what the market is doing at the current juncture. If you look at the market, the story is similar to what we've seen for a couple of weeks now. No clear direction emerging when it comes to the, benchmark indices. The Nifty is just about managing to hold on to the 19,800 mark, trading with a positive bias. Although just now when I look at the screen, I think the Sensex has slipped marginally into the red, but has maintained that 66,000 mark on the screen. Broader end of the markets, there's some bit of action there. The mid cap index is in the green. The small cap index is trading the gains of somewhere around 0.5% or thereabouts. So the markets have been, centered around specific stocks and themes, and this is the kind of theme, or this is the kind of trend that will keep on going for the next couple of weeks. In fact, the next week on the 3rd of December, we have the results of the state polls. So that's something that could provide some bit of direction. But analysts believe that the momentum will remain positive till about February. After that, of course, we have the interim budget and then we have the general elections. So those are the key events that would decide the trend when it comes to the markets. If you look at today's action, advanced decline ratio is in favor of gainers. Breadth is firmly in favor of gainers. It's positive. And if you look at the sectoral movers, Pharma, that was the big laggard yesterday, has managed to stage a comeback. In fact, it is the top mover today on the back of, recovery in Cipla. You have other movers like Lupin, Gland Pharma, Granules, these stocks buzzing in trade today. On the back of that, the Pharma index is fairly buoyant. But, aside of that, all the other indices are trading in the green, except for IT as well as FMCG. Banks are also, trading in the green today. If you look at individual movers on the Nifty, let's talk about Cipla. Of course, yesterday we got to know the details of the USFDA warning letter to its MP unit, Pithampur unit, obviously the USFDA has raised issues of manufacturing lapses, of contamination, of complaints with respect to products, and these are some of the issues that have come to the fore, and which also is an observation that has been made for Lupin's, in fact for Cipla's Goa unit. So these issues came to the fore yesterday, and we saw a knee-jerk reaction coming in on the stock prices. Yesterday Lupin was down somewhere around 7 to 8% or thereabouts, but today it has managed to make a comeback, and there is a positive brokerage report on the back of which Cipla is trading in the green today. HSBC has maintained its buy rating on the stock, but the target price has been cut from 1440 rupees to 1425 rupees per share. HSBC has maintained that, of course, the timeline of resolution when it comes to these USFDA issues could be a little lengthy, and there could be incremental costs involved here, which is why it has cut its target price. But it maintains that there is no additional risk of delay for the inhaler drug. Of course, Pithampur unit was where it was being manufactured, but it is being shifted to another site in Long Island, and which is why it sees limited risk for its inhaler drug launch, which the market is obviously waiting for. Aside of that, it believes that tractions in key markets in the US, key marketed products rather in the US, will cushion sales in FY24 to FY26. On the back of that, Cipla, of course, has made a very strong recovery today, 2 to 3% kind of up move we've seen on the stock. Aside of that, if you look at Lupin, it has got a tentative USFDA approval for its type 2 diabetes drug, and which is why the stock is hitting fresh 52-week highs in today's session. Aside of that, Gland Pharma has got an EIR from USFDA for its Hyderabad unit. EIR is nothing but Establishment Inspection Report, which means that the inspection, which indicates the closure of inspection when it comes to that particular unit, which is why the stock is rallying in trade today. So entire pharma basket doing well. Aside of that, if you look at NMDC, this stock is also doing well, given the fact that it has hiked its product prices by 200 rupees per ton, and it has also come out of the FNO ban, which is why NMDC gaining somewhere around 2 to 3% apiece. Also in focus is Maruti. The board has approved preferential allotment of 1.2 crore shares to its parent Suzuki Motor Corporation on a preferential basis, of course, and at a price of 10,420 rupees per share. Now, in lieu of that, Suzuki Motor will transfer the ownership of its Gujarat unit to Maruti Suzuki. So that's one stock to watch out for. TCS is another stock that is in focus, given the fact that the stock goes X day today. Of course, it had announced a buyback in October worth 17,000 crore rupees, and if investors investors buy shares today, like on the day that it goes X date, that means it will not be considered for eligible for the share buyback. So tomorrow is the record date for the buyback. That's stock in focus. Aside of that, if you look at other Nifty gainers, you have the likes of Hindalco, Divi's, Dr. Reddy's, JSW Steel. On the flip side, IT names not doing all that well today. So if you look at the top three losers, they are from the IT pack: HCL, Tech, TCS, as I mentioned, Wipro, and aside of that, you have Apollo Hospital as well as Adani Ports. These are some of the other losers in trade. Let's move on to the mid cap end of the markets now. Honasa Consumer. Q2 magic really working out for the stock. Yesterday it was up 20%, locked in upper circuit, and today it has extended its gains, another 12% or 13% kind of rally coming in on this particular stock. So 32% rally in a matter of 2 days. And aside of that, let's talk about some of these life insurance companies and PSU insurers rather. If you look at LIC, that stock is up 8% or thereabouts. In fact, management has indicated that the company will be launching somewhere around 3 to 4 products in FY24. And the company is also aiming to kind of double, in fact, aiming for double-digit growth in the new business premium, which is why LIC is up 8%. And if you look at the other insurers like GIC, and New India Assurance, these stocks are rallying in double digits, 16 to 17% kind of gains coming in on these stocks. Aside of that, another stock that's in focus is Paytm. It has snapped a 4-day winning streak, given the fact that there has been a block deal in the counter. 2.5% equity has exchanged hands at a price of 884 rupees per share. Paytm has been in focus ever since RBI tightened its norms on consumer loans. Of course, fintech giants are also going to feel the impact of that because of their exposure to unsecured loans, right? So, which is why the stock was under pressure. Jeffries had in fact pointed out that it could hurt earnings for Paytm, and CLSA on the other hand had said that it sees limited impact of tightened RBI norms on Paytm. Aside of that, Paytm had also been included in MSCI Global Standard Index recently, which could facilitate flows of somewhere around $140 to $160 million in the stock. So Paytm has been in focus for quite some time, and today there was a block deal in the counter. Of course, we don't know the names of the buyers and sellers. That will of course come out later in the day. Aside of that, of course, we know that the IPO market is hot. Tata Tech IPO last day today, and the issue has already been subscribed 16 times, and we'll have to see how much more of a subscription comes in by the end of the day. Aside of that, on the Nifty 500 index, you have names like LIC, as I mentioned, BHEL, Spark. These are some of the gainers. On the flip side, eClerx, Paytm, HPCL, that was gaining in trade yesterday, has come under some bit of profit booking. Chola Finance and PFC. These are some of the other losers on the Nifty 500 index. Aside of that, as I mentioned, the trend for the market is likely to be more stock specific and theme specific, which is what is being pointed out by most market experts. And over the weekend, we have the SEBI board meet wherein they will be considering the voluntary delisting norms. That's one important development that the market will of course be watching out for. But aside of that, I think I've covered most of the movers and shakers in trade today. I'll be back with closing bell at 3:30 p.m. So don't forget to tune in for that. But for now, it's a goodbye from me. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Stay tuned to Money Control for all your other news and updates.